Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. And this week we have a couple of fun topics. Our first topic is totalitarian ReCaptcha. That's right. There is some interesting changes running amiss among ReCaptcha. In fact, these actually slowly started to roll out a little bit ago, but really it didn't gain a whole lot of attention until just recently when somebody noticed it and created a little analysis on Reddit of all places. Now this has to deal with that CAPTCHA, and of course it has to deal with that problem of AI. As AI is pushing its way on down the world, and the AI systems they're calling for more bots and more spam. In fact, that whole dead internet theory, conspiracy theory out there, conspiracy fact, I might say, that out there right now is like, yeah, most of the internet right now is AI. Of course, Sam Altman's like, the whole internet's AI. We have to have a way to verify every human. Well, I just don't think we should have the psychopath who created the problems give us a solution too. That kind of sounds a little bit problematic to me. That's kind of like what those old witches in the medieval times were doing to the kings. They'd be doing all sorts of weird wizardry behind the scenes, causing chaos, then coming to the king with a solution. And things never went well for the kingdom. So we ought to think about that before we let Sam Altman come on down the pipeline to determine who is real by scanning everyone's eyeball into a dystopian Mark of the Beast database. But Google's coming down and saying, hey, we got you, bro. We dropped that whole don't be evil thing, but don't worry, we're just going to keep getting evil, because they made some adjustments to the CAPTCHA system behind the scenes, and some people may actually have to have a phone with Google Play services or a certified iPhone with the CAPTCHA app in order to pass those internet CAPTCHAs. Yes, that is what is rolling out in Google, citing the same reasons that Sam Altman had told us about. We don't know who's real anymore, and so they're coming on down with a solution. At least Google didn't cause all of the problem. Just taking their fair share of it. Well, 20-30% is Google's fault. I don't know, maybe 50. Who knows? Anyway. But Google's new ReCaptcha has a hidden play services requirement. So they're making changes to this as part of a larger plan. And the way this has been pushed out to a lot of people have heard about this has to do just with a CAPTCHA change. But in reality, it actually deals more with this introduction of Google's cloud fraud defense, which came out a couple of weeks ago, coming up on a month ago. This is Google's response to Sam Altman's problem that bots are taking over the internet. So effectively what they're going to do is, of course, here's the problem. They're stating the agents can significantly enhance online interactions. They also introduce new abuse and fraud vectors, creating unique challenges for security platforms. So ReCaptcha is part of this fraud defense, is a comprehensive platform designed to verify the legitimacy of bots, humans, and AI agents, providing businesses with the intelligence needed to secure their digital interactions and commerce. And so by using the same global signals that protect Google's own ecosystem, businesses can now enable trusted experiences for both human users and AI agents alike. Now, the challenge comes in one of these is a new revamped ReCaptcha. And they say, as we identify potentially fraudulent behavior from agents, we enable application providers to deter and mitigate malicious requests by requesting humans be in the loop using a new QR-based challenge. The AI-resistant mitigation challenge to prove a human presence is designed to make automated fraud economically unviable. And what is this solution? Well, everyone has to have a smartphone, because apparently we are now the CCP, and everyone's required to have their smartphone with them at all times. So it's a very simple matter of simply scanning the QR code while your phone has Google Play services on it. Of course, if you're on an iPhone, you can use the iOS ReCaptcha app as well. We're not going to go through the rest of that there, but this is actually now, originally, as I saw this little red warning was not at the top. This happened because everybody started talking about this issue, and Google's like, we're getting a lot of bad PR. What should we do? Hey, just throw something up here about this being an experimental feature. Sure, that'll calm everybody down. No calming over here, but, important mobile verification for Google Fraud Defense is experimental challenge type in preview. Visual and audio challenges are available for those who cannot complete mobile verification. You use them, click the visual or the audio button. So apparently we get the default is the QR code with the option to go ahead and do the old ways, which the scammers will quickly get around and deploy their AI bots to do. So, that's kind of how that works. But you can see here to complete it, to verify on an iOS or iPad device with versions 15 to 16.4, you need to download the ReCaptcha app in the App Store. Wonderful. So I get to add more Google stuff all over my iPhone now. Is it so wonderful how these companies want us to constantly be forced to use their stuff, even though their stuff is the most dystopian, monopolistic, evil crap in the universe? I mean, come on, guys. We got Graphene OS here. Let's use our Graphene OS. All right. The problem is, and we'll get to that, Graphene OS doesn't have the Google Play services. I mean, maybe if you're adding that Sandbox stuff, but I actually only put the Sandbox stuff on this, which is actually my Starlink controller. So if verifying on an Android device with Google Play services older than 254130, you simply need to upgrade to the latest. So, push the latest software on you now too, so we can add more dystopian nonsense. And then here you just need to scan this, and then once you scan that, you'll have to click to verify that you are a real human being. Of course, until the AI finds a way around this one too. So, and so you can see all that kind of stuff. It requires the Google Play services and things. And that's kind of what this first article was getting at, looking at all the different things. The problem is, as Graphene OS points out, this absolutely now requires you to have an iOS or a graphene-based device on it. And that really is where we have our problem. Excuse me, did I say that wrong? I think I said that wrong. I'm not sure. My brain stopped working a little bit ago. Graphene OS requires you to have Google Play services on it in order to pass this new type of CAPTCHA. And what they are alleging is that Google is now intentionally making life harder for rival operating systems and devices. It's like, okay, you don't want to use Graphene OS. Well, let's use these Linux phones. Oh, you can't use the Linux phones either because, they kind of get the same problem there. So, but what they're saying down here, the project says tools like Google Play's Integrity API, Apple's app attestation are being pushed as security features, but they're making it harder for users to opt for alternative operating systems. Now, for me, I don't use my phone to log into anything. I just don't. It's not a secure platform. Like, there's a good security on your device, but man, if somebody does get in there, they are stealing everything if you are behaving like a typical person on here. So for whatever that is worth. So Apple and Google are gradually expanding their use of hardware-based attestation. They're convincing a growing number of services to adopt it. Google's Play and Integrity API and Apple's app attestation are very similar. Apple bought into it via Web Privacy Pass, which Google intends on doing as well. Google's Play Integrity API requires hardware attestation for strong integral level and is gradually phasing in, requiring it for more commonly used device integrity level. Apple's already creating a requirement over long term. This will increasingly lock out hardware and OS competition. Now, he does mention elsewhere, it's curious, I think he mentioned this on X, at Graphene OS, they said, it's curious that even the best, most secure Google devices still have serious security flaws. All of those latest Linux kernel issues that were just coming down this last week, all those bugs, Graphene OS is not susceptible to any of them. Android is. All right. So essentially more apps and websites that start checking whether you're using a trusted phone and approved software before letting you in. According to Graphene OS, this could give Google and Apple absolute control over which devices work properly online. Or even just without a phone, who can actually access a website on the internet? If you have to have a phone with Google Play attestation or official Apple software on it in order to get your system to work right, we have serious fundamental problems in our world. That is a challenge. So ReCaptcha is going pure totalitarianism. Let me know your thoughts about that story. Are you using grapheneos or any other alternative? Let me know about that in the comments down below. Thanks for watching and hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.